परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षीभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितम् सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नित्यं शुद्धं निराकारं निराभासं निरञ्जनं नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरुं ब्रह्म नमाम्यहम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
Welcome everyone. Good morning and good afternoon and maybe evening to some. So today I thought for those of us who may be feeling sleepy or not up to it, we can start with thinking about all those things that we want to complain about and maybe people in our life which we want to complain about. And suddenly, the moment we start to think about it, we see that something in us really wakes up. So that may be, that's the vital, that's the emotional being in us. And Mother and Sri Aurobindo say that the vitals enthusiasm is very much required on the path. So usually we are very, otherwise we may be feeling sleepy, but when we begin to think about all the things that we want to complain, something in us becomes very active and alive and vibrant. So that may be the vital rising up, and that's the energy that we need when we want to persist to through any discipline like this one, for example, where we are working on taming the minds and making them more pliable and useful. So if you have gathered the energy from that part of our being, which becomes very, very enthusiastic when anything has to be complained about and all that, that's the enthusiasm that we need in this path also. But because otherwise, without that enthusiasm, something sleeps and sinks when we sit in meditation. So very important to have the collaboration of the vital, the enthusiasm for the practice, love for the practice. So just wanted to start with that so that we brighten up. Today we are going to do a meditation. It's a bit longer one than our usual ones, but I think we can try with Rupert Spira, where he's helping us to take the stance of awareness. Again and again, take stance as awareness, which is looking onto things, which is aware of thoughts, aware of feelings, and bit away from feelings and thoughts and sense perceptions. So it's a bit longer one, and there are breaks also in between. So we will persist. I'm hoping that we persist through the breaks also. And I'm also uh, maybe share screen with the video, his video, so that in case in between we begin to dull down, we can look at his face and brighten up again, have the same enthusiasm, and not to sleep in between or sink or dull down, because then the purpose is not served. So, yeah, with your permission, I'm just playing it now.
Feel yourself as the presence of awareness with which all experience is known, within which all experience arises, and out of which all experience is made. It would be sufficient to take any one of these three possible positions in relation to our experience. Having said that, each one tells us something unique about the nature of awareness. That is, the nature of ourself. In the first, we understand and feel ourselves as the presence of awareness with which all experience is known. That is, we stand as the knower of the known, the experiencer of the experienced, the witness of the witnessed. And in this first step, we understand and feel our innate freedom and independence from the content of experience. That which knows our experience is not in any way qualified or conditioned by it, just as one who watches a movie is not implicated by what takes place in the movie. In this first step, recognizing ourselves as that with which all experience is known, we make a clear distinction between ourself as awareness and everything else. We know ourselves as the ultimate subject of all objective experience.
So I am the one who is looking at the thoughts. I am the one who is looking at the feelings. I'm the one who is looking at the looking. This is what he means by ultimate subject of all objective experience. Whatever is seen, I am the one who is seeing, so that we create a breathing space between whatever is seen and the one who is seeing.
In the second step, we recognize ourselves not just as the witness of all experience, the knower of all experience, but the medium upon which all experience takes place, or the space within which all experience takes place. So in this second step, we at least begin to collapse the apparent distance or distinction between awareness and the content of experience. We could visualize ourselves, if you want a visual image to accompany this stage of understanding, we could consider our self-awareness like a screen, an aware screen upon which everything plays. I don't mean to imply by this that all there is to reality is the content of our own individual mind. Awareness is not limited by each of our minds. Just as the screen is not limited to a particular character in a movie. The screen pervades the character, indeed all characters. But it is not limited to them. It pervades the world in which the characters exist. Likewise, I would suggest that the presence of awareness that we ultimately are pervades each of our finite minds, but extends beyond the limits of our finite mind, and is the ultimate reality of the world that we perceive.
So just to understand this, for a moment, just know that the knowing with which you know your thought, you know your feeling, is the same knowing with which all of us here and beyond know what's happening. It's the same knowing without any division. The presence of awareness is not boxed up in a body. It pervades everything. So you may think of a person far, far, far away from you physically. He or she also have the same awareness with which you know things, you know thoughts, you know the feelings. That knowing is the same. We share that knowing, all of us. And that can also be called as the divine consciousness, which pervades everything. It's everywhere spread out. So, taking our stance as that presence of knowing, which is one in the same in all, the screen of awareness.
We could perceive, we could imagine or visualize awareness like a three-dimensional screen, in other words, a hologram. And everything we experience, our own body, everybody else's body, and the entire world, is an appearance of that hologram in that hologram. Awareness is the aware screen or the aware space out of which the hologram is made, and everything that appears in it, including our own body, is ultimately appearing in that space. And then in the third step, we recognize that our entire experience does not just appear in the aware space of awareness, but it is a modulation of it. It is, so to speak, made of it, just as the hologram is made out of the very space in which it arises.
So, initially, in the beginning, we create a duality, we create a distinction between the witness and the one which is witnessed. For example, when we are looking at the breath, when I am looking at the breath, I am the one looking, and then there is breath, which is something separate than the looking. So, this duality has its own space, its own place, because earlier we are so lost and consumed in the thoughts and feeling space that we don't get any rest being entangled with the thoughts and feelings. So, the first step then is to begin to step back from the thoughts and feelings, to create a breathing space. I am the one looking at thoughts, feelings. I am not them. And then as he's sharing that, then we begin to collapse this distance that we have created. How? We understand that we are the presence of awareness, space like. It's like open, vast, empty space. Aware, 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 vast, empty space. That's what I am, in which all the things appear and disappear. So when we look at the thoughts appearing, disappearing, look at the feelings appearing, disappearing, they are happening in awareness. It's like that vast space in which everything is happening. It's not away from it, it's not distance from it. So imagine that we enter a room and there is a chair in the room. I'm looking at the chair. And when I'm looking at the chair, there is a distance between the looking and the chair. But then when I begin to see that I am the space in which the chair is, then there is no difference, because space is absolutely very intimate, in touch with the chair. Each aspect of the chair is intimately touched, held by the space. So this space is the space like awareness which is present in us, the presence of awareness, presence of consciousness. That's what I am, which allows things to appear and disappear. So just taking a break here and taking a stance as this presence of awareness, which is holding everything, because of which everything can arise. I am that. And this vast spaciousness is also many a times called love. And wherever love is, there is allowance. It allows things to be. So when I take my stance as this loving awareness, it allows doubts and confusions to appear. It does not say no doubt, you cannot come. It does not say no confusion, you cannot come. So it's a very allowing, vast openness. That's what who I am. It allows things of past to appear. It allows things of future, anxiety, worry to appear and disappear. And this loving allowance is my true being. It allows unconsciousness to appear. It allows sleep to come, lethargy to come, and then go away. So it is non-obstructive. It doesn't stop anything. And that's why when we say the divine is all pervading, He's everywhere, and the divine is all allowing, He's full of love. He allows the free play to happen. This is who I truly am. It's vast, open, aware spaciousness, present in all. Not limited by the body. And this is how many a times we have telepathic connection with others, because this is our shared being. We may look different because of our bodies, we may be at different places, but we are all connected through this all pervading presence of awareness. I am this awareness. So, next time, any jealousy, any anger, annoyance, irritation, anxiety, anything starts to come up, even happiness, elation, excitement, anything which can be seen, which we see, it would be nice to experiment with, in the middle of that, taking stance as awareness. I am looking at it, not following the dictate of it, but just looking at it. I am the one which knows that the ripple of anger exists, and I have the free will not to follow it or to follow it. I have the free will. So, taking stance as awareness always is very empowering because it gives us the power to choose. So there may be anger coming, irritation coming, but when I'm looking at it, when I'm aware of it, then I have the power to choose whether I would follow the dictate or not. When you are feeling as if a bad mood is going to arise because of an external trigger, who am I? I am the one looking at the ripple of the mood. So I need not follow what the mood says. Again, very liberating when we don't allow things just to sway us like that. Very liberating. So I'll share this meditation with everyone on the group, and uh, if we want, we can use it and do the full 16-minute meditation. Yeah. So, any last comments, reflections? Just leaving a bit of space for reflections. That's why ending a bit early. So, yeah, anything anyone wants to share? So, we can see here that there's hardly any doing here. It's more of a recognition that the awareness is present. We don't have to become aware, we are aware, and we just have to know that we are aware. So many times, Rupert also talks about just being aware of being aware. We are aware every time. That's how we function. Otherwise, if we weren't aware by default, how would we function? We function because we are aware. So there's hardly any doing required when we take stance as awareness. We are actually revealing that, oh, I am awareness. I was always this awareness. So that's why it's called realization or revelation, that one suddenly becomes aware that one is aware. And that is what is called unconsciousness, that I am not conscious of being conscious. And only human being has the capacity. That's why human birth is considered so precious. That other beings, animals and other creatures, they are conscious, but they don't have the capacity to be conscious that they are conscious. But when it comes to human birth, we have the capacity to be conscious, to be aware that, oh, I am aware. That can change everything. That gives us a lot of empowerment to change our life, the way we live. We don't have to live a miserable life when we become suddenly that, oh, I am this presence of awareness, and hence I can shift things in my life. So if one is involved in a repetitive loop of thinking, feeling, very obsessed by it, the moment I become aware, oh, what am I doing? Suddenly we can bring all the attention back to our breath, being fully in the present moment. This capacity is of switching attention and is very rare and precious for human beings. We have to use it wisely and put our attention to where that gives us relaxation and liberation and expansion also. If I know that being involved in a thought, feeling suffocates me, again and again thinking about the past brings me down, I don't need to be there. So this is how I can use this ability to shift. So immediately, the moment my attention, because of old habits, goes into the past, goes into the repetitive loops of thoughts, I bring it back either to any divine name that I have belief in, or to the breath. When the mind is with breath, it's in the body, it's in home, and it's rested, it's aware, it's rested. So maybe all are able to catch ourselves getting lost, and maybe be able to bring our attention back to the breath in the present moment and keep the mind very simple, very light, uncomplicated, unburdened, because then we can be of most benefit to either myself or others when we keep the mind very simple and light. So wishing us simple and light mind, which is refreshing, and maybe also maybe be able to refresh others around us and not burden. Instead of burdening them, maybe be able to refresh them with our simplicity and lightness. Yeah. Any last comments, anyone? Okay, so thank you everyone, thank you for joining, and wishing you all happy practice and happy keeping bringing the mind back home. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.